YouTube channel. Hi guys, how are you doing? How have you been? Yeah, hope you guys are good. To my new subscribers, welcome. We're not more than 10, as I said in my intro video. So yeah, glad to have you guys here. Okay, today I'll be doing my makeup while I would also be sharing culture shocks for me since I arrived in Germany. So yeah, Los Gates. I arrived in Germany November of 2024. Today is May 2nd of 2025. So officially 6 months. I was officially 6 months as of 2 days ago, like April, ending of April, now in Germany. I have also experienced Germany in four cities now. I originally was in Bonn, where I lived for 3 months. Now I'm in Waldorf. I've been in Waldorf since February. So the February, March, April, 3 months as well, which makes up the 6 months. But intermittently, I have been to Berlin twice, and I have spent the last trip I took to Berlin. I spent 2 weeks, so almost 3 weeks. Yeah, and then I spent Christmas weekend, New Year weekend in Berlin as well in December. So together that's like a month in Berlin. So Bonn, Waldorf, Berlin, and then I'm going to have like a sprinkle of Frankfurt, because we've had 2 events in Frankfurt in my program where we spent cumulatively like 4 days in Frankfurt. Although they were like hotel experiences, but Asha, I've been to Frankfurt, I've slept there, I've woke up there, you know? So from the view of 4 cities, Bonn, Waldorf, Frankfurt, and Berlin, I'm going to be sharing my culture shocks. Well, they're not very shocking, but like what just stands out as different to me, considering where I'm from. I'm from Nigeria, lived in Lagos, and also Ile-Ife. Yeah, what are like the starking differences? Yeah, come with me while I do my makeup. I'm not a makeup expert in any way, shape, or form. So please, this is just me doing my own makeup, the way I know how to do my makeup. Anyway, the first thing that I would say that I noticed when I arrived here is how technology is used to pretty much almost like automate every aspect of I wouldn't say life, I would restrict it down to like transportation, and how it just makes sense and how it works. I remember when we first arrived, we didn't have internet when we got down. The following day we were supposed to meet one of the organizers at the city center, and we're supposed to like find our way there, right? I remember like opening Google Maps. I'm like, oh, this is this place, how do we get there? And then like just learning that process of finding a bus to your destination, figuring out what side of the road you're supposed to stand on. Although you would miss it though, that will not miss it that you still no go lost. You go still lost sometimes, that's for sure. However, the chances are, if you pay attention to like the little details that technology, and when I say technology here, I mean like apps like Google Maps, your bus service app in that state, how they give you, like if you pay attention to the information that you have, it's pretty organized. Like not just pretty, it's really organized. Like you know what time the bus is coming. Doesn't mean that the bus will come at that time. You know when the next bus will come in. You can almost tell what buses to take for you to arrive at certain places What I'm just trying to say is that transport here is really organized. Buses, train, trams, you can literally find your way around places without needing support or speaking to someone 90% of the time. I think it is really, for me, coming from Nigeria, where my main sources of transportation were either Uber, if I'm traveling interstate, public transport, or private car, right? Either I'm driving or someone else is driving, my mom or my brother, or that type of thing. I think how you can move around interstates within your own city, I think the organization of it is pretty amazing to me. Yeah, the naming of the buses, the routing of the buses, the timing of the buses, just the organization of that aspect of Germany, I think it's amazing. Sometimes, and I speak to my friends, and we also just imagine how Lagos would be if you had constant buses that go through routes that people go through every day. I mean, yes, you do, but not in an organized way. There's always a particular bus that goes from maybe Maryland to VI or that type of thing, and stops at bus stops or where people are. But imagine if it had the same organization level that it does here. People's life would 10x. And I mean that seriously, because one of the biggest stressors in Lagos, if you work on site, is transportation. So I think for me, it was pretty amazing that it's still amazing. Sometimes it just amazes me, how to the tiniest details, these things are just well thought out. I mean, people complain about it here, but complain about transport system here. But I feel it's because they've been used to a certain level and standard of transportation. Of course, there's no system that's going to be perfect. People would always have things that you can improve on. But at the level that they are right now, compared to what I came from, I think it's pretty amazing. I wouldn't even lie. It's so amazing that in my mind, I'm this little experience that I have, I want to be Minister of Transportation. I want to go home and also do something like this, because I can just imagine how much stress it takes off of people. Guys, when I was in Lagos, I hated going out because of transport. Because if you wanted the comfort of if you wanted to have the comfort of having good transportation, you're going to have to spend a lot of money. And I'm a comfort girly, so if I cannot afford to and fro Uber fee, I'm probably not going anywhere. That's one of the amazing things that I think they have worked out, and would be great if that's also done at home. I don't really be drawing my brows so much. I just fill them in because I already have a lot of air. Okay, what is the next culture shock? For this one, because I do not want to sound judgy or judgmental of anybody, I'm going to have to explain what it's like back home first of all, and then explain what it's like here, and maybe also discuss the difference. At home in Nigeria, our culture is very people, and I'll give specific example. We're very community oriented, we're very people oriented. We have a saying that it takes a village to raise a child, right? I find that here people are more, when you get to a certain age, are more independent as opposed to clusters of community. I've had conversations with different people, and even for me, who have spent 6 months here, the only community that I've been able to find is, of course, my group, and that's because we have something in common, which is our program, and also my husband's family that is here. Outside of that, their family and friends that are here, and outside of that, it's been difficult to connect with people. And what I mean is, I was having a conversation with someone from my language school as at the time, and we're discussing this, and then we had said that, oh, if you were like in a public transport back at home, right, and someone with a child comes, or someone like an older auntie, or you see how I said auntie, it's possible that you don't know that person from anywhere, but like they're still your auntie, right? Like someone like older than you, kind of in a way, comes on the bus and like needs help. Sometimes they don't even need to ask you. If they're carrying a child, that's your baby sister or your baby brother. That child is going to sit on your lap in a public transport. I'm like, bami babure, like let me carry a younger sibling. It's annoying, but it's a cultural thing. Like I wouldn't find that strange or find that too weird, because like I know my culture. Especially for Yoruba, like that's normal. Like you don't need to know the person to connect to the person. Like just because we exist or coexist and we have like similar, language and stuff. Even if we don't have similar language, it's just in our culture. Like we are sort of like connected one way or the other. We know that like subconsciously, and it's not weird if somebody makes an attempt towards you in that area. So like if you enter a public transport and somebody with a child needs help, maybe they just entered and they need to like adjust themselves and they need someone to help them hold their child, it is not weird that they say, help me hold your younger sibling. Even if you've never met that person and you would never meet that person again. But you hold the child and you even like, hi, da, 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 and play with the child while the mom adjusts herself and then gives back the child to you. And you're on your way back, right? Our culture is more centered towards community and connection than I find here. Even so like my experience here is, I mean when I first arrived and like people are not like just smiling at you. And I don't mean like back home people are just like seeing you and smiling at you. But like here it's like, also like I would like to check my own bias as well. Maybe because like I'm in a new environment, I expect people to notice that I am new and acknowledge that I'm new and like give me some sort of warm welcome. Maybe there's that side to it, but like it's just, it feels like a wall and a barrier. But then I'm still 6 months in, so maybe I'm making a faster assumption. Another thing that I find starkly different from back home, this will not even like be a culture thing, but like it influences culture, right, is the weather. And how does the weather influence culture? At home, I want to say we used to have different seasons, but I don't know about now because it just feels like one season that we have. But we had like rainy season, we had Harmattan, right, majorly. Are those the major ones that we have? We had Harmattan season, rainy season, and stuff. But like the sun was shining throughout the year, January to December, right? So there are really conversations about the weather back at home, right? Aside from the sun wanna kill us, so that's pretty much all the conversations that we have. Or like it's raining, or it's been raining too much. But like the weather is not a major conversation back at home. But since I arrived in this country, I have learned to talk about the weather. I have learned to talk about the weather. I've learned to notice the weather. Well, you cannot not notice the weather, but yeah. I've learned to talk about the weather in a way that I've never had to talk about the weather. And I get it, to be honest, because I came in November, which was winter. The cold. Yeah, the cold. I experienced snow for the first time when we went to, because it didn't snow in Bonn so much. I experienced snow for the first time when we went to an open museum, and I hated myself. I hated myself because I did not know snow was ice. I didn't know it was ice. The way they describe it in movies, it's falling down and we're all playing with it, making a snowball. I'm making this snowman and we're doing flip flop flop inside of it. That shit is ice. It is literally ice. I remember when I stepped on the floor and then I did my shoe and I said, I'm digging into ice. Like, it was such a shock for me that snow is actually ice. I don't know what I expected it to be. I probably expected it to be like some fluffy cotton ball type of texture. But it was ice. And it was cold. And it was really cold. I wasn't having fun in that museum. Like, I don't think I took any picture there that I smiled. Because I was cold as hell. If coming from that and how cold November, December, January was to seeing the sun, and then let's talk about the vitamin D deficiency. I didn't know that the sun was doing stuff for me back at home. I didn't know. When I got here, and then there was one night where I was really sad and depressed, and I was crying. I wasn't crying, I was wailing. I wailed myself to sleep. Woke up the next day and I was really sad. And then I decided to go and buy vitamin D. And then I was okay. Coming from that and seeing the sun a few times after that, I remember the first time that we saw the sun like really come out and felt it. I was so happy. So I get why the weather is such a big conversation. I get it. But because back at home, like, the sun was shining every time. I get the wave for summer. I never got the wave for summer. The only thing that summer meant to me back home was when I was in uni. We had like summer break. That's all. Like, that's all. It was just holiday time. There was no, what summer? It's summering all year for me. But like here, like moving from winter to summer to spring and then to summer. Even though we're not like in full blown summer here, but this sun don't be hot though. I get why the sun is such a conversation. I get it. And I've also learned to talk about it. Because it's always like a good conversation starter when you just meet someone. Or like when you're back at work and like, oh, how was your weekend? Oh, my weekend was good. The sun was really nice. And you know, people then like plan a lot of activities around the sun, which makes sense because, you know, going out in winter is annoying. And I agree with you. I don't want to be outside in the cold. So when the sun comes out, it's like you're making use of all the sun that you can get while you can get it before you then go back to no sun. So I get why it's a conversation. I like learning that or experiencing from winter to summer, like I get it. And for me, that's very different from where I come from. Even though my time was cold, it was still very sunny and dry. So like the sun was a constant thing there. Also, like on the conversation of weather, I've also learned, or like one thing that's different, I never used the weather app on my phone at home. I didn't know how hot it got in Nigeria. I never knew we were in the 30s. I mean, maybe here and there I could have guessed, but like coming here, I don't go out without checking the weather. That's one thing. Another culture. I don't be going out if I don't check the weather. How hot is it going to get? How cold is it going to get? How do I need to dress? And that's why I said like it influences culture, like because it affects how you dress. It affects like, places that you can go, activities that you can do. Yeah. Oh yeah, another shocking experience that I had. This one I've barely recovered from. So when we arrived in Germany, when we got to our apartment, which was like late at night, it had been a long day, so we wanted to like get water. You guys saw like the first apartment that we stayed in, so we wanted to like get water and stuff. So like we'll have water to drink that day, and then the following day, we'll have water to drink that day and the following day. And then, so we went to, I'm trying to remember the name of the supermarket that we went to. Was it NATO? I think it was NATO. We went to NATO on our first night. I set my face with this powder from Eganes that is a lighter powder shade. We went to NATO to get water, and like, because it's been a long day, I feel like even if it had not been a long day, we didn't know what was what. We just picked up water from the shelf. I'm like, okay, let's buy this one and let's be going to our hotel and sleep at our apartment and sleep, because it's been a long day. Tomorrow we have to meet somebody at the city center. That was our first night. And I remember getting to my hotel or my apartment, opening this bottle of water, taking a sip and spitting it right out. Can you guess why? Yeah, if you guessed right, we had bought sparkling water. I don't know what in God's name that was. So I remember calling, because again, it's not written in English. They did not write sparkling on it. They wrote meet Kole Shule. Well, I know what that is right now, but like when I arrived, I didn't know. And these are things that people will not tell you. Like, oh, if you're going to get water when you get to Germany, check if it's only or meat. Nobody will tell you that right off the bat. You will go and buy water and you will pick up the one that is sparkling. And then drink it and have the shock of your life. Because I believe that till today, that's the reason why I cannot drink sparkling water, because of that initial shock. Why? What is that? Yeah. So one of the shocking things as well is like people drink sparkling water here. That is something that I don't believe exists at home. I mean, I've heard like, oh, it's still water. And I know that I had questioned, as opposed to what? Still water. As opposed to. And like, I know like some bougie people say, oh no, I only drink sparkling. But I did not expect that the sparkling means that it has gas in it. Like, maybe it's just like an extra level of cleanliness. Is what I had assumed sparkling would have meant. Like, I don't think I ever tried or attempted like sparkling water or anything like that. But yeah. And then also on the subject of water, another thing that is also like very shocking for me is that they drink tap water here. I mean, people have said, oh, like the water is really clean. Me and my mustache. Like, the water is really clean, it's okay to drink. Yeah, I don't drink tap water. And that's because even back in Nigeria, when I was in uni, I used to buy bottled water. And I didn't used to drink any type of water. I'm very sensitive to water. Like, I've had infections in my throat because of water. If water has taste in my mouth, taste that I've noticed that other people don't have or don't notice. So like, there are even some bottled water here in Germany that I don't drink because they have a certain taste. They don't taste clean, so it's very difficult for me to drink it. So no, I don't still take tap water because it still has that taste. And this thing has calc in it. I don't know what the possibility of that like having effect health-wise, but I don't want to find out. And to me, it just, add up that something is staining the sink, staining the tap, and I'm going to be ingesting it. It just doesn't sit well with my African mind just yet. So maybe some years down the line, I'll just be like, yeah, I'm going to drink tap water. But for now, I still haven't started the idea because I would never drink tap water in Nigeria. This is my eyeshadow brush. The bum of it I've removed. You guys see? But like, I really like the brush. I feel like if I'm going to get like makeup stuff, one of the first things that I would get is a new set of brush. Because, yeah. See my powder brush as well. The bum has removed. The bum has removed. I need to get new ones. I mean, the sticks are here, but you can just put them in temporarily, but they'll still remove. Yeah. Now I'm just going to be giving like an example of things that I've experienced. May not be a cultural thing, it's just people things that people do here that we don't do at home. Or that I don't do at home. So the few times that I've been in an Uber, I noticed that they use the seat belts at the back. Like if you're sitting at the back, you use seat belts. To me, back at home, nobody uses seat belt at the back. Nobody. Like if you're sitting at the back, you're seat belt free. It's only if you're sitting at the front, if you're the driver, and yeah, if you're the driver and you're sitting next to the driver, that's when you use a seatbelt. But we necessarily don't use seatbelt at the back of the seats if you're sitting like behind the driver or the person next to the driver. That is not something that we do. Another thing that's really different here is, I mean, Germany is known for like sustainability and stuff. You will see that in how you divide your trash. So you have to divide trash like bio, glass, paper, and others. I think, yeah, that's great. That's like popularly known. The one thing about, and also like renewable energy, sustainability, all these things, being green. But the one way that they have expressed that amazes me is, I'll put a picture here because I put it on my Instagram. Yeah. Why? So like you go and use the toilet and you wash your hand. Why not give me tissue paper? Tissue is degradable, I believe. But like they have this retracting tissue. So you wipe your hand, you then retract. So it's gonna clean that one that you used and then bring it back. So people are rotating. Well, I'm supposed to believe that the whatever machine that is cleaning it really cleans it so well. But like, I don't want to use tissue that another person has used in the toilet again. I don't want to. Oh, another thing that I noticed that we don't do back at home, but I've noticed here, is privacy at home. In Nigeria, typically you would see people build houses and then build fences around those houses for privacy. People don't want you to see what they are doing in the privacy of their home. Like you would usually have people have gates, curtains, fences. If you're outside, you're outside. If you're at my house, okay. But here, I mean, aside from the fact that a lot of houses are not like singularly built, you would mostly see like apartment buildings and stuff, except from like Waldorf. Well, Waldorf is sort of like a village, so yeah. But like in Berlin, in Bonn, in Frankfurt, you see mostly apartment buildings. What I've also noticed is that people don't really use curtains. So I remember when I first came in Bonn, I was so shocked that you would rent an apartment close to the roadside where buses are passing, cars are passing, and you would choose not to have curtains in your house. So I remember seeing one time a naked man in his room. And I was like, it feels like I'm the one that is intruding your privacy because why am I looking into your room? But you should also like have blinds or something like to cover it. So like, because I was just looking outside the bus and I saw you. Like, so, and it's always at night, like, and the light in your room is on and it's dark outside. So even if I didn't want to see you, I would still see you. It's like, you don't really care. Like, yeah, good luck to you if you see and stuff. So yeah, that's definitely something I would not see in Africa or not see in Nigeria. The coffee culture in Germany, people will be drinking plenty coffee. Yeah, that's also something that's not very typical. Or like in my own experience in Nigeria, again, it could be like some people who use like have like a different experience. But my own experience, like I don't think we take coffee that much in Nigeria, but here, yeah, coffee is a thing. Coffee is a thing. Coffee is definitely a thing. Also, smoking is also a thing. I think there's also like a smoking. I want to call it like a smoking culture, but like yeah, there's a lot of smoke. Even if you don't smoke, you would smoke passively because you're in smoke from other people that smoke, and yeah, they smoke a lot here. Yeah, like the streets are littered with like cigarettes and stuff. So yeah, there's also like a smoking thing. That I mean, people smoke in Nigeria, but like we don't have like dedicated smoking areas. Only if restaurants want to say like you don't smoke here, you can go and smoke outside. We don't like it has not grown to the extent where people consciously build dedicated smoking areas. Yeah, but like here you have like places that are dedicated to like smoking, and stuff like that. So yeah, it's definitely like a part of the culture already. And there are also people that don't smoke cigarettes, but like smoke like vape. Like you'd also see the vaping ones. Those ones, the few times I've smelled it, they smell nice. I've smelled like the pineapple flavor, the banana flavor, and I don't know if it has the same effect if you're passively inhaling that as opposed to like cigarettes. But yeah, those ones smell nice. Hi guys, thank you for watching this episode. This is not a video to compare between two countries. It's just what I've experienced in Nigeria and what I'm experiencing currently in Germany, and like the difference that may have occurred or that I've just noticed between the two countries. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, yeah, and comment if you are based in Germany and maybe you've also experienced or like you were shocked by some of the things that I've also experienced. It'll be nice to hear. Or if there's certain things that you've experienced differently or something I just mentioned that you've experienced, that would be nice. If you're looking forward to coming to Germany and yeah, if you have opinions on any of the things that I've mentioned, that would also be nice to hear. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time. Bye.